Okay. All right, so just finding your spot. So welcome to Yoga Therapy Thursday night. And tonight we're working with mind and emotions and the whole body. So when you're ready, you can lie here with your legs straight or bend your knees. Just notice how your lower back feels in either position. And when you're ready, just starting to bring your arms up overhead, or you can angel your arms along the sides. So I'm going to show that in this direction. Feel free to move your arms at the sides or arms overhead. You can have your feet at the wall or away from the wall. And just finding that long exhale. You can add a ha sound if you like. And if you like, you can add the humming sound. So this is all on your own. Just notice which sound allows your exhale to be longest. And if you like, adding 3 ohms. Bend your knees if they're not already bent. You might want to make your feet nice and wide as the mat. You can angle your knees in. Just place one hand on your belly and the other on your heart if that's comfortable, or both on the belly, below the navel. And just feel the breath move in the body. And if you can, inhale into the chest and then into the belly. Exhale, draw the belly in and the chest falls. You can switch hands at any time. Inhale, chest to belly, exhale, belly to chest. If this is uncomfortable, just do belly breathing instead. it's comfortable, place your hands on your ribs, on the side of your ribs. Just see if you can breathe into your chest and access the side of the ribs as well as into your belly. So inhale into the chest, then into the belly, and access the side of the ribs. If you like, place one hand below your lower back, that little curve in your lower back. And as you inhale, place one hand on your belly and the other on the opposite side of your lower back. And as you inhale, feel the belly expand and feel that space between the floor and your lower back expand. And as you exhale, as you draw the belly in towards the spine, feel your lower back move towards your hand. So whenever we inhale in yoga, we're arching the back. And when we exhale, we're making the spine neutral or we're contracting the spine. Now you might want to start counting the breath. Inhale 4 to 6 seconds, exhale the same. Pausing between inhale and exhale. You might want to experiment with straightening your legs and notice the difference in that curve in the lower back when your legs are straight versus bent. So you have a bigger curve when your legs are straight, it's more of a back arch. You have to work a little harder on that exhale to bring the lower back down. Notice which position you prefer. And then one more time, one hand on the chest and other on the belly. Try to inhale into the chest, then the belly. Exhale, belly draws in, chest falls. You can always put a prop or a pillow under that elbow if it's not comfortable, and you can always just put your hands on the belly if it's not comfortable breathing into the chest. For some people, that's very uncomfortable. And just finishing up. All right, move the back, warm it up. You're going to bend your knees and bring your arms overhead as you inhale, bringing the hips up, the arms overhead. Now, if it's not comfortable bringing your arms overhead, again, you can bring your arms to the sides in those angel arms, something like this, either just up and down, or you can bend the elbows as you come down like that. The other modification you can use is you can take one of your blocks or a pillow and put it between your knees, between your thighs, to add more grounding and more internal rotation of the hips, using those adductors. So just notice which one you like. You can also use one arm at a time. If you have a difference between the sides of your body, it can be very helpful to do one arm at a time. Another variation that I like is I leave my hands up or hand up until the very end of the exhale and then bring it down to get more stretch through the upper back. So you can play with that. I'm going to do one arm at a time because I don't do this variation very often. And it really gives interesting awareness to one side of the body at a time. Just a very deep sensed and felt awareness. You can tuck your chin in at the top of the inhale, that Jalandhara, if that's comfortable for your neck. You can always have a blanket or very thin pillow under the head. Padapidam, bridge pose. And just resting for a moment. I'm just going to see if it's comfortable staying in that lifted position. So inhale, lift the hips, and you might want to remove that block for this one. So arms down by your sides, keep your hips lifted, roll your shoulders underneath. That's comfortable. Now try to get that buttocks working. It will tend to soften. As you inhale, lift as high as you can, and some of you might come onto the toes to get the hips even higher. And exhale, bring the heels down, or just stay in the position. If this is not comfortable, just go up and down as we did before with the whole hips and back. This is what I call a dynamic stay. You're working in the position. You're staying, but you're moving. This is very strengthening for the legs, the knees, the hips, opening the chest and strengthening the back. It's also working on the shoulders, rotating them back. Notice where you feel it in your body. When you've had enough, you can come down. You can stay a little longer if you like. That's one I quite enjoy. Bring your knees towards your chest as you exhale. And inhale, knees away. And exhale. Exhale, knees towards you, and inhale, knees away from you. I invite you to bring a little bit more awareness into this. Bring your hands down by your sides. Your lower legs are relaxed. Often students will hold their legs up like this. So that's kind of a Pilates move. Don't do that. The focus of this is from the pelvic floor to the belly button. This is called Mula Bandha in yoga. It means root lock. You're going to exhale, draw your pelvic floor in, your lower belly, and your belly button in as you draw your knees to your chest. Inhale, knees move away from you. So this pose is for grounding. If your hip flexors are tightening, do add your hands to take the pressure off your hip flexors. If you can, try to move from your core, your pelvic floor, to your belly button. And this is called Apana in yoga philosophy. It means the downward flow of energy. And this pose is called Apanasana, the asana or posture of Apana Vayu, the downward wind or flow of energy. Now we're going to keep going with this. I'm going to let you hold on to your knees this time because you might be getting tired, or you can keep your hands off. You're going to exhale, draw your knees into your chest, and then you're going to hold after exhale. So during the hold, you're pulling up from the pelvic floor to the belly button. And inhale into the chest, into the belly as the knees move away. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls, knees move towards the chest. Pull from the pelvic floor to the belly button, in and up, and hold after exhale. And inhale, knees away. So again, you can do that without the hands on the knees if you want to see if you can work a little harder with using that mula bandha, that root lock, or your core, as we say in Western anatomy. This is not really anatomical for the yogis, it's an energetic, but you have to use the anatomy to get into the energetic. The energetic is the grounding energy. Constricting the throat, you hear me do that time to time when I'm not teaching. That's Ujjayi pranayama. Helps us lengthen the breath. And when you're ready, just relax those legs. You might want to straighten them. I often put my feet on the wall for grounding, but you can just let the feet relax as well, arms at the side. And just rest a moment. Just notice how you feel. So I don't know if any of you ever feel this. It's probably maybe because I've been practicing yoga a while, but on a weekend when I sleep in and I'm lying in my bed and I know I don't have to get up and I have nowhere to go, I'll feel this incredible heaviness in my legs and feet, and this downward flow of energy from my tailbone down my legs into my feet. And I think that that's Apana Vayu. So if you ever feel that, I think that's what the yogis are talking about. So you might feel a little bit of that now. Just notice, you might feel some energy. I feel it right in my sacrum and down my tailbone and down my buttocks, my thighs, my legs, and right into my feet. I feel a little shaking, and you might feel a little sense of your belly drawing in towards the spine just naturally. Having worked that energetic. All right, so for me, that could have been the whole class, but we will go on. I feel kind of blissed out, but anyway, we should move on. So bend your knees. We're just going to bring the knees side to side. So this is good to do after any core work, just on a physical level, in case your hips get tight from that core work. Now, something you can add to this, which I learned from an SE practitioner, is you can bring the opposite hand down as you turn your head away from the knees. So SE is somatic experiencing, and one of my grads, my yoga therapy grads, she moved in that direction, and she came to my class about, I think, 5 years after she had graduated, and she said, "Oh, you're doing all sorts of SE work now." I was like, really? So movement is movement, and when you explore movement from a place of practice, you tend to download all sorts of universal principles that are found in many movement traditions cross-culturally. Inhale center, exhale side. Just enjoy this flow. Turning the head's uncomfortable for the neck, please do skip that part. I like to bring the feet quite wide, but that is your choice. Some people will feel more contained by leaving their feet together, and it might feel better in the back. So I rarely teach this, but my teachers in India teach this quite often. And it was given to me when I had a lower back injury once. So you can play with that and just feel the difference of having your feet a little closer together, or even totally together. And if you like, you can stay on one side. So when you stay, you can keep your legs wide, or you could bring your knees together. Bring your hips more to one side and bring your knees towards one of your armpits. Just choose your twist and breathe here. This is for the hip and lower back, depending on how high you're twisting. The higher you bring the knees, the more it goes into your lower back. So experiment with that and just see what's going to work best for you this evening. This is our review. Last 2 classes, we review all sorts of things we've done throughout the series. Again, moving into stillness if that's comfortable, or keep it moving side to side. Perhaps adding a hold after exhale in this position. Drawing the belly in, from the pelvic floor up to the belly button, holding after exhale. Really, belly flattens out. And then inhale, release the belly a little bit, and then inhale if you can into the chest belly. Some of you can turn your head the opposite direction. Be careful. You might need a blanket or a pillow under your head. Let's do that if you need that prop. When you twist your head, make sure the back of your head is moving towards where your knees are, so that your spine is aligned. If you feel ready, you can release that, untwist the head if it's twisted, and start walking the feet back to the center. Align the spine. You might hold the edges of your mat to find your center. If you're using a yoga mat, that can be a good reference point. And decide, where are you going to twist? Just bring the knees to the side at hip level. You could cross one foot over the other, or are you going to bring your hips to one side, your knees to the opposite armpit? Keep those knees bent. Now, if your shoulder doesn't come to the ground, I forgot to mention that, you can use one of your props to help with that. Underneath your knees, or even between your knees. You can put a blanket under the shoulder that's away from the twist as well. So play with those variations. And of course, you can always keep moving side to side. If you're staying, consider adding a hold after exhale, drawing the belly in. And holding after exhale. And you can turn your head away from those knees. When you're ready, release the pose and twist the head. Bring the feet back to center. Align the spine on your mat. Keep your legs bent. Bring your knees to your chest. Apanasana. Exhale, knees to chest. And inhale, legs to the sky, arms up to the floor behind you. If that's comfortable, you can always bring your arms to the side, as we've been working on, as an alternative move. So feel free to bring the arms to the sides, or classically hands overhead to the floor behind you. Urdhva Prasrita Padasana with Apanasana. Count the breath in your head. Inhale 4 to 6 seconds. Pause. Exhale the same as the preparation for seated pranayama. The lengthening of the breath and the freeing of the prana, the energy in the body. Freeing that flow of prana. So it's compared in the Yoga Sutras, chapter 4, to an irrigation system that the gardener, the farmer, clears the blocks out of. So in yoga philosophy, there are 72,000 rivers of energy emanating out of the belly button, the navi. And we get blocks in those energy flows. And through the practice of yoga, we clear those blocks. And when you're ready, release that. Just take a break. Just rest here. Just notice the natural rise and fall of the breath. Following the breath as you inhale from the nostrils down to the belly. And exhale from the belly up and out through the nostrils. You like tip of the tongue, roof of the mouth, Jihwa Bandha, tongue walk. And move back into those legs and feet again. So stretching the legs long if it's comfortable. If this is not comfortable on your lower back, you can have one leg bent at a time. And you're going to inhale, you're going to bring your left arm up overhead, or again, you could bring it to the sides if that works better for you. And as you exhale, you're going to bring your left leg, you're going to draw it in towards your spine and give your knee a hug. You could be bending the other leg if it's more comfortable. Inhale, extend that leg up and that arm up. Exhale, bend the knee into the chest, hug the knee. Inhale, extend the leg out. Exhale, bring the arm down. We're going to do the other side. Inhale, right arm coming up. The left leg could be bent. Exhale, bend the right knee into the chest, hug the knee. Inhale, extend the leg up as the arm comes up overhead to the floor behind you. Exhale, hug the knee into the chest. Inhale, extend the leg down, the arm comes up. Exhale, bring the arm down. Okay, we're just going to keep doing this side to side. Hopefully you've got it now. Inhale, left arm comes up, stretch the whole left side nice and long. Exhale, bend the left knee into the chest using the core from the pelvic floor to the belly button. So try to use that Apanasana, one side at a time now. Inhale, extend the leg up, Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. The other arm extending long. Exhale, bend the knee into the chest. Inhale, extend down. With the leg, the arm comes up. Exhale, left arm comes down. Inhale, right arm coming up, stretching that right side really long. Exhale, with the core from the pelvic floor to the belly button, draw that leg in as if the core or the mula bandha is drawing the leg in, not your leg. Inhale, extend the leg up as the arm stretches to the floor behind you. Exhale, bend the knee into the chest. Inhale, extend the leg long, the arm comes up. Exhale, arm comes down. Now you can keep that going to side, or if you like, you can use both arms and both legs at once. Inhale, both arms coming up. You're going to do this twice, or you do left and right. Exhale, draw the knees into the chest. Now this demands some core strength to do. Inhale, legs up. Exhale, draw the knees in. Inhale, extend those legs up as the arms come up. Exhale, arms come down. One more time, inhale, extend, nice and long. Tadaka Mudra. Exhale, Apanasana, knees to chest. Inhale, Urdhva Prasrita Padasana. Exhale, Apanasana, knees to chest. Inhale, extend those legs out to the floor, arms up, Tadaka Mudra. Exhale, arms coming down, and rest. You can rest the legs, or you could have the feet at a baseboard at the wall. Notice how you feel. If your lower back's not comfortable, you can always bend your knees if that feels better for your body. All right. So let's go into some deeper leg stretches. We haven't done these for a few weeks. We're going to take our handy belt. And we're going to make a loop in the belt. If you don't have a belt, you can use a scarf. You can use a TheraBand. You can use a towel. There are many things you can use to stretch your leg. In India, my teachers use what's called a dupada. It's a scarf that a woman wears. So I've seen my teacher Sridhar use that. They don't use belts. So we're going to put that belt or whatever you have on the ball of your left foot. We always start with the left in the latter part of Krishnamacharya's work. The other leg can be bent, or if it's comfortable, you can straighten it. And again, I like to put the foot at the wall just so that I have a bit more connection through the leg into the foot. All right, now in this position, Supta Padangustasana. It's a tough pose for many people. You are going to exhale, bend that knee into the chest. I'm not sure, I think you might be seeing Caroline's leg today. That's okay. Inhale, extend. We're in our first hybrid class here. So if you see a leg in the front, it's my knees. Exhale, bend the knee into the chest. You get double teaching. Inhale, extend. And exhale, bend. And just keep that going. So this is leg and hip and into lower back. Now, if it's comfortable, it's also wonderful for the knee. It's working the tracking of the knee. It's comfortable, stay with your legs stretched up. Now, if it's comfortable, inhale, point the toes, and exhale, bring the toes towards the nose. Inhale, point the toes. Exhale, bring the toes towards the nose. Just keep this going your own timing, this flossing of the leg, the foot. It's not an action we do very much, is pointing our toes, unless you're in ballet classes. That's the only place I've ever been asked to point my toes. So you might be surprised how tight the front of your foot is. You can just stay in the position if you like. Some people like to do namaste position with the belt around the wrists and bring the hands to the heart and just hang out there. Keep dropping that left hip down so the pelvis isn't twisting. So it will tend to twist, and just try to draw that hip down. Okay, so you might feel that your whole pelvis changes as you do that. And again, I like to have that right foot into the wall just to help me with that alignment. When you're ready, switching sides, same thing on the other side. This is a stretch I really recommend you do at least once a week. If you are active, which I certainly hope you are, I hope you're walking at minimum, and hopefully other activities. Exhale, bend your knee into the chest. So this is working the hip flexor of the left leg. It's working the hip and the lower back of the right. Inhale, stretch the legs, stretching the calf muscles as well as the 3 hamstrings. So there's 2 calf muscles, the gastrocnemius and the soleus. This is the outer one and the inner one. The inner one we usually forget about. It was one of my very first yoga therapy lessons when I was at dance school in my 20s. I learned about those 2 muscles in my anatomy class, and it's very enlightening. So you can keep that going. Or if you like, you can start pointing and flexing the foot and adding a bit more movement of the leg. You can take the leg quite far forward if you like when you point, just to give a bit more floss of the whole leg and the nerves, and the foot. So this pointing and flexing of the foot allows the nerves through the feet into the legs, into the lower back, get flossed. You might want to stay in the position after moving back and forth. Again, you could loop the belt onto your wrists and put your hands in namaste. Draw that right hip down. Notice the difference in how you feel in the leg and hip when you draw that hip down. Picking what works best for you. Again, you can keep it moving. If you're tighter, often moving will feel better. And you can even do this with your foot at a wall. You can press your foot into a wall if you have very limited range of motion. I think all of you are able to do this. All right, when you're ready, bringing your feet into that belt. We're going to be very curious to see this video if I've got Caroline's feet in there. All right, so exhale, bringing your toes towards your nose. If you can try to keep your hips on the ground. It's a little hard. And inhale, bring your toes away. So just enjoy this movement. You could bring your hips off the ground a bit if you want, but you won't get as much stretch in your lower back in the same way. It's a different stretch. You can do it if you like. See what feels best. And again, you might want to move into stillness, bringing that namaste position with the belt on your wrists. I'm really trying to root my tailbone down as I do this. And take that belt off, bring your legs to the ground. And we are ready to move into our relaxation. So you can just lie here on the floor like this, or if you have a bolster, I'm inviting you to take your bolster and put it underneath your head and your upper back. So make sure that you sit on the bolster. That's really important. Do not sit on the bolster. That's the first thing people usually do. They all of a sudden sit on it. So do not sit on your bolster. Okay. Then when you lie down, the other thing you don't want to do, since I'm online, I'm checking all your little pictures. Try not to, well, you'd have to have a pretty long back to do this, but if you're working with a pillow, your head might hang off. So make sure your head is supported by the bolster. That's the next thing, very important. So if you're working with a big bed pillow, for example, make sure your head is supported. Now, if this feels too high for you, again, I was like putting my feet at the wall. You can use a rolled mat. You can roll a mat or a blanket and make it in this position. The other thing you might want to do is you might want to cover your body with a big blanket. I recently got a weighted blanket and I am completely in love. So if you have one of those, feel free to plop it on. And you're just going to rest in this heart opener. If your lower back is uncomfortable, you can put one of these smaller blocks or a cushion from your couch underneath your buttocks, or bend your knees. Find your position. And can you start lengthening the breath from the chest to the belly in this position? Inhale, expand the chest, expand the belly, constricting the throat, Ujjayi Pranayama. Exhale, can you draw the belly in? And feel the chest fall as you contract from the pelvic floor to the belly button. Just keep this going your own timing. Count your breath, 4 to 12 seconds. Inhale, pause, exhale the same. If you have any tingling in your arms, bring your hands lower or get rid of the bolster. And be here for about 5 minutes. Feel free to change positions at any time that you are not comfortable. You can also have a blanket or a pillow under your head for more support of the neck if the neck is not comfortable. Want a little lift of energy for your evening, you could try a hold after inhale in this back arch, half the length of your inhale breath. And when you're ready, just letting go of this pranayama, lengthening of the breath, and freeing the prana in the body to flow in those 72,000 nadis of energy. Just moving to the natural breath. Feeling the breath enter the nostrils and moving down to the belly as you inhale and exhale from the belly to the nostrils. If you want to add a mantra, inhale so, exhale hum. In Sanskrit, this means that which I am. It also sounds like the breath. Inhale so, exhale hum. Just saying this inside your head as you observe the rise and fall of the natural breath. We're going to be here for about 5 minutes. Feel free to change the position, lie flat on your back if you need a change of posture. When you're ready, start to increase the length of your breath. Starting to move your hands and feet. And I invite you to stay longer if you have the time. You don't have to close with us. One knee at a time. Perhaps angling your knees in, perhaps bringing your hands to your heart or just staying where you are. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Namaskaram. Thank you very much.